Hey YouTube, it's Steve again coming from Rescape, the channel that seeks to aid and benefit people by making them informed of their fundamental perception of reality, how that helps them and hinders them, and what they can do to align that with truth and increase their degrees of freedom and potential as a human being, and then people coming together with more tuned versions of reality, how that will transform the landscape of the planet. Today I'm going to be doing a video that actually is going to be a kickback to one of my first videos earlier in the series. I did one on judgment, I've done ethics and faith, but I've never done one on forgiveness, and that's an important one I need to address because all the videos up to this point have been talking one way or another about wholeness, how to be a whole human being, and how that aligns you with truth and the things that come about of that. But on top of that, on top of undoing all the tensions and then expanding, becoming more soft and a more whole human being, there is life and this world that we find trouble in, and things will be pressed and pushed down on us to make us become tense. Even as we work to untense and make ourselves better people, or just by living life, just becoming better people, the world will put things in our path that makes us that will undo what we're trying to do. So there is an arsenal of ways to get around this sort of thing, and those could be many videos, but this one's going to be one weapon against the world when it tries to bring you down and grind you into the dirt, is forgiveness. Now, the way forgiveness works, whenever you forgive something, what you're doing, one way to perceive what you're doing is that you're unjudging something. Now, when we think about forgiveness, we usually think about forgiving other people. Of course, forgiveness can be applied to a lot of different things. If you watch my video on fundamental ethics, the same idea applies here. When if you're in a situation where you're having trouble forgiving someone, what you're really doing, and what I believe most people are doing that have trouble forgiving people, is they're struggling focusing on whoever or whatever they're trying to forgive and not focusing on themselves, because the core issue, whenever you have trouble controlling yourself, there's a lack of self-control. That is a break in wholeness, and wholeness is only found within. Like, you as a human being, whether or not you are whole is entirely dependent on yourself. So using forgiveness is a great way to maintain wholeness, and what you have to understand is that when you're whoop, it's Glow! Hello, Glow! She hasn't been showing up in some of the other videos, but when you don't forgive someone, you don't say can't forgive someone, because you can always forgive someone, but when you find that you don't have the self-control, so you don't forgive someone, what you're really doing is you're saying in your heart or in your mind, or mind, spirit, whatever, that if I was doing, or if I was in the situation of that person that I'm trying to forgive, I wouldn't forgive myself. And then that's the unjudging part. You're making a judgment on yourself of being in that situation that's preventing you from allowing you to forgive that person. And that person has nothing to do with you or how you judge yourself. It's not their fault you judge yourself that way, but if you don't forgive them, there's consequences on them through you. Everyone likes to quote the "judge not lest ye be judged" thing from the Bible. Some people know after that it says forgive and you will be forgiven. But even that's not what it says. If you read it correctly, the being forgiven part of judge not lest you be judged, forgive me, forgiven, and then it's like by the measure you use will be measured to you. The be forgiven part is literally can be used to be let out of prison. Like, the direct translation of that after judge not you not be judged, it is set free and you will be set free. So, and going back to the idea of like truth setting free, really all you need to do to forgive somebody is to maintain the presence of truth of like what's actually happening. Like, if you're in a situation truly and presently with someone, it's that truth will be the freedom you act will give you the base support of freedom that you can act out of to forgive them. Like, whenever you forgive someone, you're acting out of your own freedom to do that, because you're saying, well, I don't hold myself to this, so I'm not going to hold you to it. People don't think of it that way, because when you're forgiving people, it's always about the person you're forgiving, but it's really not. So to have the more powerful your ability to forgive is going to be dependent entirely on that base level of freedom. and which comes from understanding what's true, which is what this video is about, what these channels are about. So depending on from situation to situation, there'll be different truths there that'll allow you to forgive the person. One truth that's almost always outstanding if it's a person you're forgiving is that they're human, and that you're human, and so you have that oneness there. But it can be lots of different things. The key here is that if you have the ability to forgive when something or someone or some sort of bad thing happens and you're a part of that, it won't break your wholeness. Because it's not, there won't even be, when you get good, there won't even be a time lapse. It's literally you're in the act of forgiveness as it's taking place, such that it passes through you and it's as if nothing happened. True forgiveness is as if nothing happened. Some people will say, oh, I forgive you, but you're still going to jail. And you're like, well, he did a horrible thing, he still needs to go to jail. But you're not. But the thing is, I had a friend one time who ran a red light, ended up killing somebody, and it was just a careless error. He didn't see the light. He wasn't drunk or anything. It was completely normal. Killed a kid. The kid's family had the right to have him in prison for a long time, and they let him go. And I didn't ask my friend if they were, what the spiritual state of that family was, but that would be forgiveness. If they had been like, oh, we forgive you for killing our son, but it's just part of the judicial system that you have to spend the rest of your life in jail. It's like, that's not forgiveness. You can't be like, you can't be a soldier in an army and forgive someone and then kill them. Like, some people are like, well, they're just soldiers. Like, no. It's like forgiveness, the act of forgiveness has to erase what you're forgiving. It cannot have occurred. Like, that's the whole point. If you're going to be free of a situation, like, you can't leave a prison cell and be like, unless the prison cell's not there anymore. Like, you have to take it away. Like, there has to be the emptiness there, and from the entangling knots in your mind spirit, when you're in the act of freedom to untie those things, that expands and becomes soft. Like, you can't then go back and then be like, oh, hey, remember how those knots were tied there? Well, I'm glad they're not tied there anymore. It's like there's literally has to be an undoing or a going back to the beginning, or a reset or a restart. So that is what forgiveness is. That's how it would apply. That's how forgiveness would affect you spiritually. That's the kind of forgiveness I would expect you spiritually. It has to come out of freedom. Freedom has to come from truth or true perception. So this is only 7.5 minutes. I think I'll just start making my videos shorter now. I don't know. But the next video I'm going to deal with is going to be on power and holding power truly, without corruption, or whatever like people like to say. There's a lot of stuff I need to say about that. But this video on forgiveness will lead to that one. So I hope you understand what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure I do. But anyways, Rescape, Steve Robertson, week 25-ish. I skipped a week, or maybe 26, I don't know. But post in the comments if you want to. I'd be happy to answer any questions, and I will see you guys next week. Love you.